pie chart. And the next is how we learn the frequency distribution. So how is frequency distribution? And the next we learn about relative frequency distribution. Then the last one, how the histogram and frequency polygon show in the frequency distribution. Okay. In this topic, we learn a lot about the frequency table, how we show the descriptive statistic. Okay. Just now, our friend told us that frequency statistic, that means we show the data to bar chart, to pie chart, or another concept of descriptive statistic. Okay. Okay. Boleh ha? So this one we learning objective on this topic. So we see this example in slide number 3. So can I request Nur Mariam?
Ya, Doktor.
Nur Mariam boleh baca semua slide ni?
Boleh.
Silakan.
LO1, make a frequency table for a set of data. Describing data with charts, tables and graphs. Example, the Applewood Auto Group AAG sells a wide range of vehicles through its 4 dealerships. Ms. Catherine Ball, a member of the senior management team at AAG, is responsible for tracking and analyzing vehicle sales, the profitability of those vehicles. Catherine would like to summarize the profit earned on the vehicles sold with the tables, charts and graphs that she would review monthly. And she wants to know the profit per vehicle sold, as well as the lowest and highest amount of profit. She is also interested in describing the demographic of buyers. What are their ages? How many vehicles have they previously purchased from one of the Applewood dealership? What type of vehicle did they purchase? Partial data for 180 customers are shown on the table.
Okay. Thank you, Nur Mariam. This one is one of example in the Excel. So this one only the part of 180. Actual data, they have 180 of respondent or customers. This slide, they show only the portion, only sebahagian saja. So they have data about the age, they have data about the profit, location, vehicle type, and previously how did purchase the car. Okay, they have 5 type of informations. Now this 5 type of information, how they convert to table, okay, how they convert to chart and the graph. Because by this raw data, this one they call raw data, by raw data, we not able to convert or say something without we see the clear picture or clear graph. Okay. So first one, how they do on frequency table. Okay. We do the frequency table based on raw data. This one they call raw data. This one raw data. They want to do the frequency table first. So what frequency table say? They mean a group of qualitative. This one not qualitative, should be quantitative. A number of quantitative data into the mutual exclusive classes, showing the number of observation in the each classes. That means the each class, so they have the location, they have 4 location, Kent, Olean, Sheffield, Theonesta. So each location they have the numbers 52, 40, 45, 43. And the total number of cars sold is 180. Okay. So that means that each group here 52 they call frequency table. That means the each location show that the each number of the car. Okay. Any question? Ada soalan tak? Okay, nak tanya Nur Mariam, ada soalan?
Tak ada, Doktor.
Doktor,
Ya.
can you repeat? Tak berapa faham lagi.
Okay. Now kita lihat pada slide number 3 ni Kita tengok slide number 3 ni. So kita ada 180 data. 180 data. That data kita measure dia punya umur dia. Kita measure dia punya profit. Berapa profit dia. Then kita ada location. Kita ada vehicle type. Dan kita ada previous history of customer purchase. So kita ada 5 type of data. Okay, sekarang data ni sebenarnya kita ada 180. Pertama sekali daripada data ni kita akan develop frequency table. Okay. Bila kita nak develop frequency table, lihat pada slide 04. Frequency table dia punya definition dekat sini. Cuba kita minta Chong Hong Lian.
Hello.
Hello Chong.
Yes, sir.
Tolong baca yang ni Chong. Frequency table.
Frequency table, a group of qualitative data in mutually exclusive classes showing the number of observations in each class. Table 2.1, frequency table for vehicles sold last month at Applewood Auto Group by location. Location,
Okay.
Kane,
Okay.
Orlean, Sheffield, Tionesta.
Okay.
So number of cars 52, 40, 45, 43, total 180.
Okay, that means in our data, raw data, we have 180, then they only have 4 location. Okay, 4 location, each location represent 52, 40, then total is 180. This type of data they call frequency table. They mean from frequency table, we can see what the highest locations. So Ahmad Taufik.
Ya, Doktor.
Okay, Ahmad Taufik daripada slide 04 ni. Okay, frequency table.
Ya.
Location mana yang paling tinggi sekali? The highest numbers of car sold.
Kane, Doktor.
Okay, the second one?
The second one, Sheffield.
Okay. And the third one?
Tionista. And the last one, Orlean.
Orleans. Okay. This one, how frequency table show to us? Then from terima kasih Syafiq Okay, daripada frequency table ni kita boleh menyatakan bahawa number yang tertinggi sekali adalah dekat Keynes, the lowest sekali dekat Orleans. Okay, this one they call frequency table. Nurain Syafiqah, okay, faham? Okay, siapa yang masih confused lagi? Okay, the next slide is bar chart. Okay, bar chart. So what is bar chart? So kita minta Yuni Zaratika,
Yes, Doctor.
boleh baca definition bar chart?
Boleh.
Silakan.
Okay, bar chart. Bar chart, a graph in which the classes are reported on the horizontal axis and the class frequencies on the vertical axis. The class frequencies are proportional to the height of the bar. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So kalau kita tengok bar chart seperti rajah di bawah. So rajah ni yang ni dia bentuk dia panggil bar chart. Okay, dia bentuk bar maksudnya batang. Batang yang bersusun-susun. So tadi kita ada 4 location. Kita ada Keynes, Olean, Sheffield dengan Tionesta. Each location kita represent dia punya value. Value untuk Keynes, jualan dia ada 52. Untuk Olean 40. Untuk Sheffield 45. Dan untuk Tionesta 42. That mean the data kita present dalam bentuk macam ni, dia panggil bar chart. Ini adalah bentuk bar chart. So bar chart dia ada location dekat bawah dan juga belah vertical ni adalah number of cars sold. Okay. Bila bayangkan kamu lihat rajah ni, what you can say? Cuba tanya Yuni Zaratika.
Ya, saya.
Kalau lihat rajah ni, which one the highest one?
Ken.
Which one the lowest one?
Olin.
Okay, kalau saya tanya pula soalan yang sama. Kalau kita tengok sebahagian pada topik raw data ni, untuk slide nombor 3, you boleh say something? Boleh kata sesuatu tak?
Kata pendapat ke?
Boleh kata pendapat.
Untuk 3 slide ni
Untuk slide nombor 3 ni, boleh. Hanya melihat kepada data, raw data ni, boleh tak? Mungkin tidak boleh kan? Sukar kan? Berbanding kalau kita lihat rajah ni kan?
Lagi senang.
Okay, lagi senang. That's why tujuan dia daripada raw data kita convert kepada bar chart ataupun table frequency. Boleh faham This one, terima kasih Yuni. This one they call bar, this one they call bar chart. Okay. Sekarang kita dah belajar 2 type of chart. Pertama tadi frequency table. Number 2 is bar chart. Okay, kita pergi ke next, pie chart. This one pie chart. Kita minta Nur Hazirah. Nur Hazirah minta tolong baca definition pie chart.
Pie chart, a chart that shows the proportion or percent that each class represents of the total number of frequencies.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Nur Hazirah. Okay, daripada pie chart yang kita lihat di bawah tu, which one the highest one? Paling tinggi.
Right.
Okay, the lowest one?
Lowest one, expensive.
The lowest one, maybe they have 2. Operating expenses and bonuses and commissions. So, from pie chart, mengapa dia panggil pie chart? Nur Hazirah?
Sebab dia bentuk bulat, Doktor.
Good. Bentuk dia macam pie. That's why dia panggil pie chart. Okay. pie chart, one of popular chart that present in the management. Kalau kita jadi management level ataupun kita duduk mana-mana kita buat presentation, pie chart ni adalah satu chart yang agak popular. Contohnya bila kita nak present kita punya gender, gender dalam kita punya kelas. So we have male and female. So usually kita guna pie chart untuk represent how many percentage of male and how many percentage of female. The total of percentage should be equal to 100%. Okay. In case example, in the class, we have 100 students. 50 student are male and another 50 student is female. That means we develop the pie chart that present 50% of female, then another 50% of females. Okay, so bila kita melihat pie chart, is very easy to us to interpret, to understand what is current phenomena. Okay. Faham? Ada persoalan tentang pie chart? Any question? Okay, we proceed to pie chart using the Excel. Usually in Excel, they provided the how we develop the pie chart. So they have a icon there. They mean we input the raw data in the Excel, then we can construct using the Excel for the pie chart. Okay, the next is frequency distributions. So can I request Chong Chisam?
Yes, sir.
Chong Chisam boleh baca this slide number 8?
Yeah. Frequency distribution, a grouping of data into mutually exclusive classes showing the number of observation in each class. Location, number of cars, Kane 52, Olean 40, Sheffield 45, Ionista 43, and the total is 180.
Okay, thank you, Chong. Now we have the data. That means frequency distribution, how the data we show the number of observation in class. So we have 52 for Kane, 40 for Olean, Sheffield 45, and Tionesta 43. So you want to know how they distribute of the frequency. Okay, usually frequency distribution, that means that each class they show the numbers of car is similar to frequency table, is it? Frequency distribution. Frequency distribution, that means they show the total of location we have. Okay. Okay, the next slide. How we have the data. Example, another example of data. So we have the data is they say this data Assam 102 excellent, 58 good, 30 and 4 10. So how this data we need to convert to bar chart and pie chart. So how they convert to pie chart? Here is pie chart. Then another one is bar chart. Okay, from the raw data, here is raw data. We convert to bar chart. We can see the lowest one is 4. Then second one, good, excellent, and so on. So then another one, we see our raw data in context of pie chart. So we see the lowest one also here for good and so on. Okay, how? They mean be able to convert from the raw data here to the bar chart, then another raw data also bar chart. Okay. Okay, senang boleh Now we move on to relative class frequency. So kita boleh tanya Maisarah Alwani. Maisarah?
Ya.
Okey, boleh baca slide ni Maisarah?
Boleh?
Silakan.
Relative class frequencies. Class frequencies can be converted to relative class frequencies to show the fraction of the total number of observations in each class. A relative frequency captures the relationship between a class total and the total number of observations. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, now we learn another topic they call relative class frequency. Relative class frequency based on this data, they mean we have the data of location, they mean Wikin 52, Olean 40, Sheffield 45, Donesta 43, total 180. Now we want to calculate the relative frequency, how we get 0.289. 0.289 is the relative frequency we get from 52 divided by 180. So we get 0.289. Okay, the next step, how we get 0.22. So kita boleh tanya John Chia Yong Si.
Yes, sir.
How we get 0.22? Macam mana kita dapat 0.22 kat sini?
40 divided by 180.
Okay, correct. 40 divided by 180, we get 0.22. 0.22 is a relative frequency for the class of Oleans. Thank you, John.
Okay, thank you.
Then the next 0.250 we get from 45 divided by 180, we get 0.250. And the last one, 0.239 we get from 43 divided by 180. So we get 0.239. So the total sum of relative frequency should be 1.0. Kalau kita tak dapat 1.0, that mean kita punya relative frequency something wrong. Kalau kita dapat 1.5 ataupun kita dapat 1.1, something wrong. Kalau kita dapat 0.9 ataupun 0.8, that means something wrong about kita punya relative frequency. Relative frequency dia punya total sum should be 1 ataupun 1.0. Boleh? Macam mana kita nak dapat relative frequency? Boleh ke? Ada soalan untuk tanya how we get relative frequency here? Okay, relative frequency kita akan dapat 1.0 saja. Sebab kita based on 100%. Kalau kita dapat kurang ataupun lebih, that mean kita punya calculation something wrong lah. Ada persoalan? John, ada soalan John? Joins?
Tak ada.
Okay. We move to the next slide. Frequency distributions. Okay, just now we learn frequency distribution. Kita lihat, kita minta Candy sing.
Ya, doktor.
Boleh baca this slide? Slide
Boleh.
number 12. Thank you.
Frequency distribution. Class interval. The class interval is obtained by subtracting the lower limit of a class from the lower limit of the next class. Class frequency. The number of observation in each class. Class midpoint, a point that divides a class into two equal parts. This is average of the upper and lower class limit. Thank you, doctor.
Welcome, Candy. So in frequency distribution, they have three items. Number one is class interval. Class interval, that means the class obtained by subtracting the lowest limit of the class from the lowest limit of next class. That means see here, 200 to 600. Okay, this one they call class interval. Then 600 to 1000. So also they call a class interval. Class interval equal to 400. That mean each class, that mean we have 400. The next class, that mean 1000 to 1400 and so on. Okay. Then number two, class frequency. Class frequency, they mean the observe the number of the class. So we see the last one, the frequency. They mean the profit between 200 to 600, we have 8 frequency. The profit between 600 to 1000, we have 11 frequency. And so on. The total is 180. This one they call class frequency. And the third one they call class midpoint. What the class midpoint? They mean a point that divide into class into two equal parts. This is the average of upper and lower class limit. They mean here 200 to 600. What the medium? Okay. The medium is 400 lah. Then 400 they call midpoint. The second of our group data show is 600 to 1000. What the midpoint is 800. 800 they mean the midpoint of between 600 to 1000 and so on of the figures. So in frequency distribution, we have the class interval, we have the class frequency, and we have the class midpoint. Okay, any question? Ada persoalan?
No, doctor.
Okay, we move to next slide. Okay, next slide kita nak minta Lu Yiting.
Ya.
Lu Yiting boleh baca slide number 13 ni?
Semua.
Ya.
Example, reading a frequently repeated paper. Every
Okay.
four of the Apple would auto group one to develop table cat and graph to show the capital profit for each field. Table
Okay.
2 to 4 report the profit on each of the 180 ranker rows. not mine at the 4 wood rotation. What is
Okay.
the capital profit on each field? What
Okay.
is the latest profit on any field? What is the lowest profit on any field? Around what
Okay.
values is the profit tend to fluctuate?
Okay. Thank you, Lou. Now we have 180 of data. This 180 of data is the profit of vehicle we sell to customer based on 4 locations. So now from this data, we want to know what a typical profit for the sales. What the largest profit? What the lowest profit? That the profit tend to cluster. That means how distribute of our profit is. Okay. From raw data, we will need to develop the frequency distribution. Okay. That means for data, now we have raw data. This raw data we need to develop into the frequency distribution. Boleh So this one, we want to develop what is frequency distribution is. So we go for step number 1. Okay, step number 1 is decide on the number of class. We want to decide how the number of the class. So the number of class, we use this formula. Okay, that means 2 power by k should be more than n. This one formula for determine the classes. Now, there are 100 vehicles sold, so the N equal to 180. Now, kita punya jumlah kereta yang kita jual adalah 180. 180 ini kita nak menentukan how many class yang ada. How number of class. So, kita akan guna formula ni 2 power by k should be more than n. N dekat sini adalah 180. That means kita cuba ambil k equal to 7. Ini kita anggapkan dulu permulaan k bersama dengan 7, then 2 power by 7 is equal to 128. Cuba kamu ambil kalkulator. Kamu tekan dekat kalkulator 2 kuasa 7, kamu akan dapat 128. Minta cuba Muhammad Aiman. Muhammad Aiman ada? Kita tanya Nurul Huda Hanani. Nurul Huda ada?
Ya, Doktor.
Ada kalkulator?
Ada.
Okey. Cuba buat 2 power by 7, you dapat berapa?
Kau mak bapak makan dah lah tengok. 128. Itu ke?
Okey. Cuba tengok, you try 2 power by 6, 2 kuasa 6. Dapat berapa?
Ya.
2 power by 6, dapat berapa?
64.
Okay, good. 64.
Hmm.
Okey, terima kasih Nurul
Sama
Huda.
doktor.
Okey. Tetapi we see 128 masih lagi rendah compared to 180. Kan? So this formula cannot fulfill. We need some value 2 power by k should be more than 180. Now the next step, nak minta Nurul Huda juga
Ya saya.
cuba 2 power by 8 dapat berapa?
256.
Okey, kita akan dapat 256. That 256 more than 180. So bila dapat more than 180, that mean this formula dah fulfill. Bila fulfill, k equal to 8, that mean kita punya number of classes equal to 8, equal to 8. Okay. First calculation kita dapati 2 power by 8 equal to 256. This 256 okay, this 126 lebih pada 180. So bila 180 kita see this formula 2k more than n, that mean 256 is more than 180 is okay. That mean k equal to 8. Okay, k equal to 8. That mean our class equal to 8. Boleh ke?
Boleh ada.
Okay. Any question? Okay, the next step kita nak cari class interval. The class interval here. Class interval, how formula is, they mean I more or equal to H minus L divided by K. I, they mean I here class interval. H, they mean the highest value of our data. So we have 180 data. We want to know which one the highest one. We have the highest one. L, they mean the how the lowest one. Then the K is the number of interval, a number of class. Just now we get K equal to 8. So we're using this formula, I more or equal to H minus L divided by K. So highest value of data we get 3,292 minus lowest data we have 294. So in our 180 data, we get the highest value of data, lowest value of data we minus, and we divide by 8. 8 is just now step number 1, equal to 8. Equal here 8. How we get 3,292 and how we get 294? This one based on this graph. Based on this data, we see the highest value profit is 3,292. Okay? And the lowest profit 294. So the total 180, we found one highest one, we found the one of lowest one. So after we found the lowest one, the highest one, we minus, we divide by 8, we get 374.75. Sekarang kita minta Quizimin.
Ya,
Quizimin ada calculator?
ada.
Boleh calculate 3,292
Yes.
minus 294
Okay.
okay, divide by 8.
Equal to 374.75.
Okay, this one the answer of I. I they mean class interval. Class interval 374.75. Okay, now kita round up. Round up the sum convenient number such the number multiple of 10 or 100. They mean use of class width of 400. 734.75 dia dekat hampir dengan 400. Okay. Dia mean kita punya kelas interval adalah 400. Sebab kita bundarkan kita punya answer ni kepada 100 yang terdekat. Okay. Ada persoalan? How we get the I value? Ada persoalan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, kita move for the next slide. So now, step number 3, we need to set individual class limit. Okay. How we set the individual class limit? Here we set, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the 8 group. We have the 8 classes. How we get 8 classes? Kita tanya Muhammad Nur Ikram. Why 8 classes? Mengapa 8 kelas saja? Muhammad Nur Ikram ada? Okey. Kita tanya Cheng Mi Ying.
Ini saya apa?
Okay, Cheng Mi Ying, morning. In step number 3, mengapa kita ada 8 kelas?
Sebab K itu sama dengan 8.
Betul. Sebab kita K equal to 8, why we develop 8 class. Okay, 1, 2, 3 until 8. Then Second question untuk Cheng.
Okay.
Okay, untuk Lian, tanya Lian pula. Lian,
Yes, sir.
so now we have 8 classes. Each data profit menunjukkan 200 to 600. Dia punya interval dia berapa?
400.
Why 400? Mengapa 400?
Because each classes 600 minus 200, so it's 400.
Tapi actual based on kita punya calculation, tengok dekat sini slide number 14. So we get 374.75. Kita pergi ke number yang terdekat adalah 400. Okay. So kita punya kelas interval adalah 400. Thank you, Lian.
Okay.
So now here we develop the class limit. They have the 8 group. Each group they have 400 class interval. So they have 400 here, 200 plus 400, 600, 600 plus 400, 1000, and so on. How we develop this set of data based on this value. So based on step number 1, we get k equal to 8. Step number 2, we get I equal to 400. So any question how we develop this one?
No, sir.
Okay, the next step. We need to develop frequency table. Okay, so frequency table, step number 4, tally the vehicle profit into the number of classes. So now we have the data, our distribute, we construct the table 200 to 600, 600 to 1000, and so on. So we see the profit within 200 to 600, we have 8 frequencies. 600 to 1000, we have 11 frequencies. 1000 to 140, we have 23 frequencies. How we get this number? That means we go back to this table. Okay, we go back to this table. We see the range of our data between 200 to 600. Okay, kita boleh minta Nur Sufi Najwa.
Ya, doktor.
Okay, graf ni nampak? You nampak graf ni tak?
Nampak.
Okay, cuba count number antara 200 sampai 600 ada berapa? Boleh count?
Ya. Daripada
Antara
200 ke 600.
200 sampai 600. Berapa jumlah data yang ada? See here number 1 kan, ada nombor 1 ni. Sini 443 ada 1. Ini ada 2. Ini 3. Ini 4.
Apa nak?
Ini ada 5.
Dia 36.
Ini ada 6. Ini ada 7.
Ada 7.
So ini ada 8. So nampak kita ada 8 frekuensi kan? Kita ada 8 data kan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dan 8.
Okay.
Boleh?
Boleh.
That's why dekat slide ni kita ada 8.
Okay.
How they get 8? Boleh ya?
Boleh. Sir.
Okey, terima kasih Nur Sufi Najwa. So, the next classes 600 to 1000 kita ada 11. 1000 to 1400 kita ada 23 and so on. Total is 180. Okey, ada soalan? Any question? Ada soalan tak?
No, Doktor.
Okay, this one kita mula-mula kita akan count tally, kita akan guna this start. Contohnya bila kita ada 1, kita akan tekan 1, 2, kita akan tekan 2, 3 dan seterusnya macam ni lah. 3 dan 4. So dia become macam ni . So last kali kita akan convert daripada nilai ni kepada nilai ni. So kita akan convert tally 1 kepada the numbers of figures. This number of figures is similar to this one. The total is 180. Okay. This one is standard one. Semasa saya belajar dekat Japan dulu, kita akan guna macam ni . Saya pakai macam ni. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So saya pakai macam ni . Dia ada dua teknik, sama ada kamu nak pakai macam ni pun boleh ataupun macam ni . Tetapi macam ni banyakkan dipakai oleh Japan . Dekat dalam saya kelas dulu belajar di Japan, kita akan pakai bentuk dia macam ni. Okay, ada apa soalan nak tanya?
Tak ada, Doktor.
Okay, kalau tak ada, saya nak verify attendance lagi sekali, boleh? Nak tanya Nur Jannah ada?
Saya, Doktor.
Okay. Siti Nurul Fasihah?
Saya, Doktor.
Okay. Nurul Najwa?